liking and checking out a couple of videos. And I wanted to share a few powerful things about my studies today. This is extremely life changing when you really apply it and understand it. I look for this knowledge for many years, and I know that it'll shift something in you today. So reach out. Always feel free to reach out to me if something really speaks to you or helps you, and just drop a comment. Let me know. So hopefully, your day is off to an amazing start, and your week is going well, and you're tapped with abundance. And I want to share a couple things. So we are programmed to live from the outside in. I'm going over some study notes here. That programming causes a tendency for us to become the plaything for outside forces. So the world, social media, TV, everything you see with your eyes, hear with your ears, you're being programmed from the outside in, and we're conditioned to live that way many, many times. So we should observe and be aware of what's going on in our outside world, but be capable of creating and maintaining an individualized existence. So what that means is you want to basically create the dream that you want. What is it you want? What do you really desire? What do you want to achieve in your life? Whether it's business or personal, it doesn't matter what the goal is. You want to get very clear on what you're creating in your life. And it's the opposite of what most people do, because they'll think about it temporarily and then it kind of disappears. And even some people don't even write their goals down. Most people don't, right? So we have been gifted with higher mental faculties. Now, this is what separates you from the rest of the creatures on earth and the majority of people. So there's perception, will, imagination, memory, reason, and intuition. Now, there's six of them, and you can develop them to a very high degree. So it's our responsibility, key word, to learn how to utilize and develop these higher faculties to a greater degree. It's our responsibility to do that. Now, you can totally ignore what I'm saying and keep scrolling, or you can really listen and apply this knowledge, because it changes everything in your life and the results in your life if you take it very seriously. So, memory. Our memory is perfect, which I never knew. But listen to this, there is no such thing as a bad memory. There are only weak memories and strong memories. So, this is basically memory. A lot of people stop using their memory, right? And it just gets weaker. And all of our higher faculties are perfect. They merely require exercise to strengthen them. So just like you exercise your body, you can exercise your mind. And there's different ways to strengthen your memory. All right? Tons of different ways. So reason, this is a big concept. Reason is what gives us the ability to think. It gives us the ability to think. So thinking is our highest function. As human beings, thinking is our highest function. Hello, everybody that's here live. What's good? So, thinking is our highest function. It is our inductive reasoning faculty that gives us the ability to originate individual thoughts. So, it's inductive thinking, meaning we're putting the thoughts in our mind. So, this is really key here, because not a lot of people are aware of the thoughts that they have in their minds, or that they can, you know, put thoughts in their mind. Like, really, really think about that, how powerful that is. You can imagine whatever state you want, imagine whatever money you want, imagine whatever car you want, imagine whatever house you want. I'm living in the house I imagined, and it wasn't even built yet. So it's amazing, right? So it is our inductive reasoning faculty that gives us the ability to originate individual thoughts, right? And bring them together in the formation of ideas. We can observe what we are doing and think of ideas on how we can do better. So, since we are in control of our thinking faculty, we should not spend time thinking negative thoughts or originating ideas on why something cannot be done. Huge, right? So, most people would counteract the positive thinking. There's something called the law of polarity. So there's the equal and opposite of everything. So there's left, right, up, down, inside, out, hot, cold, etc. And what happens is we'll counter what we think about. So we'll think about the negative side of it, right? And also here comes doubt and worry, because you don't really understand yourself and thinking. So it's so interesting, right? So here's perception. Our perception is our point of view, right? This is how you see things. So when we see something that causes us to think something cannot be done, we can change our perception of the situation and originate an idea on how it can be done. So, whatever problem or challenge that you're having or had, there's always an opposite side you can focus on. Let that be a key thing for you, my friend. There's always an opposite side that you can focus on. It doesn't matter what the situation is, there's always an opposite that exists. That's the yin and yang, right? So, this is why you got to change your perception. Because if you're focusing on, I got to get out of debt, I got to get out of debt, I don't have enough money, all these negative things, you're creating more of what you don't want. If you're focused on getting out of debt, that's the worst goal you ever set. So you're setting a goal to stay in debt by thinking of debt. This is why you should focus on the opposite. I have more than enough money. I have an abundance of money. I attract money easily and effortlessly. It just keeps coming to me. You see the difference, right? So imagination creates fantasies, right? So fantasy is the first stage of creation in life. And basically what I'm sharing you originated from a fantasy. Even the company you're working for, by the way, or with, or whatever you're doing, originated from a fantasy. So the creative process spans three stages: fantasy, theory, and then fact. It is important to remember that without the aid of your imagination, there could be no creation in your life. Someone else would always be the star of your movie. Everything is created twice. Really think about this, right? Everything's created twice. First, with the imagination in your mind, and second, when it manifests in your material world. So everything is created twice. So if you're not creating with your imagination, you're just being a cast member in someone else's movie because you're not controlling your life. You're not dictating where your life is going. This was me most of my life. I had no idea what I was doing. I was allowing the outside to shape my inside world over and over and over again. And I was being tossed about like a ship without a rudder. I was the plaything for outside forces. No more. I know what I'm creating now. I know where I'm going. And this is the clarity everyone needs. You really need it because if you don't know where you're going and how to utilize your imagination, you're like walking around with your eyes closed and your hands over your eye and you can't see nothing. So, and lastly, the power of the will. This is will. Will gives you the ability to hold one picture on the screen of your mind to the exclusion of all outside distractions, right? So the will gives you the ability to focus and concentrate. The more you practice developing your will, the stronger it will become. Amazing, right? So this allows you to see that image or whatever it is that you want over and over again in your mind's eye. Imagine doing that. Imagine doing that. Now you're creating, you're controlling where you're going. You're not letting other things dictate your mental power and your focus. So intuitive factor, it is with your intuition that you will pick up vibrations and translate those vibrations in your mind. So your intuition permits you to know and know that you know what is happening around you. Intuition is often referred to as a sixth sense, which is a misnomer. It is not a sense, it is one of your higher faculties and can be developed to an extraordinary degree. So intuition, like you get a gut feeling. You can even feel other people's energy. The really good one is like when you're walking down the street or whatever, and you just feel somebody looking at you, right? And you can kind of feel it behind your head, and you turn around and they try to look away and act like they're not looking at you. That's your intuition. All right. And even sports. I played a lot of sports. You can kind of feel how people would move. I played football and stuff like that, and you can feel people. It's your intuition. You're picking up vibration. All right. So, what I'm sharing with you today, when you look at your results and let the results register in your mind, the results cause you to think, right? The thinking produces the feeling causes the action produces the result, the same result. This is precisely why the majority of our population keep getting the same results year after year. It's called struggle. So if you're struggling, and you're not happy where you are, you don't have the money that you want, you don't have the success in your business, you don't have the material things that you want, you're just unfulfilled. It's because you're allowing the outside world to shape the inside world. As you continue to let the outside world shape the inside world, you're creating the same results over and over again. So immediately stop permitting the outside world to control your mind. Objectively observe what is going on in your outside world. Don't be a part of it. Look at your results like a stranger might. So you're kind of looking at it objectively, right? You're not letting it control you. And say, I don't think that's what I want, especially the things that you don't want, right? And then begin to think of what you do want. All right. So the thoughts cause the feelings cause the action produces a new result. It works the same way. So at that point, you consciously observe the new result, you mentally adapt to the new results, and immediately begin to think the thoughts that create the idea of how to improve upon it. So now what you're doing is shifting your perception. You're focusing on what you're creating, and you're focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want. So remember, it starts with the thought. Your thinking is more powerful than you think, than you're aware of, right? So the thought causes the feeling causes the action. So really think about that. When you're thinking great thoughts, your vibration is high. You're a whole different person, right? And the feeling causes the action. So when you feel good, you're causing a vibrational action. And you're also expressing by doing different behaviors and different actions, right? So the action causes the result. Take a look at the result and adapt and start a new train of thought. You stay in charge of you. Don't let the outside world control you. You control the outside world. So I wanted to share a couple of those things. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for hanging out here live. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thanks for the nice comments and whatnot. And I'll post this so you can rewatch it. I shared a lot really quickly, but if this really spoke to you and it resonated, and you feel that this could really help you, just reach out to me. My call link's in the comments. Schedule a call with me to see if I can help you with this. All right. Or keep creating the things you don't want. Why do that? Right? Create what you want. Take ownership of your future and your life because life is very short. Much love, everybody. Certified Coach Jamel here, signing out. I'll see you next time.